Hi everyone, welcome to the Navdeep Soni Show. I am your host Navdeep Soni. Today's podcast is about how to decide on your wedding photography budget. So this topic was discussed on my podcast earlier last month, and I have been getting requests to make videos as well. So here I am in front of the camera to discuss this once again. Okay, so deciding on any budget could be a very tedious task. And this becomes more confusing when you have multiple options. So now we are talking about the wedding photography. So if you go to any wedding portal, you will get n number of photographers. In fact, n number of photographers in any budget. More the options, more is the confusion. So how does one decide which photographer to choose or at what budget you should have your wedding photography? Should you go for a professional wedding photographer or an amateur newbie photographer? Should you opt for a high-end wedding photographer or a photographer next door? Not sure. And if I have to put it in one simple line, I would say the budget should be in balance with price as well as quality. And to be very honest, choosing a high-end photographer will not guarantee you uh, good quality pictures or a good experience. But yes, the chances of getting a good experience or good quality or a better quality will be very, very high. And similarly, even if you're going for a less experienced wedding photographer, uh, it's not that you will not get the kind of quality you're looking for. Maybe there may be few compromises. Maybe you need to be very sharp and very smart to choose a newbie photographer or a photographer with a lesser experience. You still can get a quality pictures from for your wedding. So let me simplify it for you and list down few points to consider while deciding on your wedding photography budget. The first and the most important factor is identify the quality you are looking for. So when we talk about the quality, so how do you look for a certain sort of a quality? What are the criterias for identifying the quality? Alternatively, how do you search for your wedding photographer? Are you Googling wedding photographers, or you are going to some wedding portal which has, like I said, many photographers listed in a particular city or even in a particular budget, or you go to some social media handle or an account. A lot of people are looking for their wedding photographers on Instagram, and I feel Instagram is not the right platform specifically if you're looking for a wedding photographer. And the reason why I'm saying so is because uh, Instagram is a Instagram is a photography centric social media tool, but it is all about curated content. When I say curated content, people are sharing best or their best work. They are not sharing multiple images from a single wedding. They are shooting 10 weddings, they are showing 5 images from all those 10 weddings. So I'm not sure if this is the right place or a right tool to identify the quality of the wedding photographer. So what exactly you should be doing? I would say go to social media handles or, like I said, Instagram handles. Identify the wedding photographers which you are liking, the work which you are liking. Shortlist those photographers. Next step, go to their wedding websites. I mean, their wedding portfolio websites. Look out for their wedding blog post where you will see multiple images, 50 images, 100 images from a single wedding. That is where you will get to know the consistency, the quality of the wedding pictures he is shooting. You are not going to have 4 or 5 or 10 pictures from your wedding. You will be having hundreds of images, and you need to have the consistency in your wedding pictures. Check out how he is shooting a typical event like a haldi, mehndi, sangeet, and wedding itself. How he is shooting couple portraits. These are really important things to look for in a wedding photographer. Some wedding photographers are good at portraiture, some are good at candid moments, some are have a very photojournalistic style of shooting. So what exactly is the style of shooting? You don't have to go to the technical details, but going through 50 100 images from a single wedding will tell you what exactly he is shooting, how he is shooting, and does it suit the taste what you're looking for. You don't have to go into the technical details, but yes, when you go through the multiple images, 50 100 images from a single wedding, you get to know that this is exactly what you're looking for or you're looking for something else. So now when you're going through all these wedding blog posts of this photographer, so you have to go through all these photographers, shortlist further these photographers, eliminate the photographers whose Instagram handles you have liked. But when it comes to multiple images or more images from a single wedding, you may not have liked those pictures, or you may not have liked the quality of the pictures which he is shooting. So further shortlist your photographers. So now you have identified what sort of a quality you're looking for and what photographers are falling into that quality. The next step is to identify the market price. So now you have shortlisted your photographers. Go through their price, what price they are offering their services. This will give you the market price of the quality you are looking for. At least you will get an average price. My wild guess is that all these wedding photographers which you have shortlisted will be falling somewhat in the same price bracket, which I am calling it as a market price of that quality which you are looking for. So now you know the market price as well. So the next step is to re-evaluate your own budget. What budget you are looking for and what is the market price right now. Are you okay with the market price of these wedding photographers, or you have some different budget you're looking for? Now we have two scenarios in this case. First is obviously if your budget and the market price is somewhat similar, then it's fine. But let's say if your budget is below the market price, then the things get little tricky and you have to make certain choices, or I would call some compromises. So let's first take up the easy part. If everything is within your budget, market price is within your budget, so what you should be doing? You need to shortlist your photographers further based on the quality with respect to the price. I would strongly suggest don't compromise on the quality, because that's the most important thing. Even if you have to pay 5-10% extra, pay it, but go for the better quality, because you are very close to the kind of budget you are looking at. Consider wedding photography as an investment for your present as well as your future. Do allocate a part of your budget to the secondary services like photo booth, coffee table books, merchandise, etc. Mind you, a product like a coffee table book has a lot of emotional value attached to it. Imagine yourself going to the wedding pictures through this coffee table book with your kids or your family. That will be an ultimate experience which you cannot imagine right now while defining your budget, but it's all worth it. Okay, so now this was when everything was within your budget or it was around your budget. So what happens when your budget is lower than the market price? What you should be doing? To be honest and straightforward, it is the time to make some compromises. If you can afford, extend your budget, go to the market price, and I can assure you, you won't regret. If a budget is a constraint and you are not able to extend it, how do you make compromises, or what are the parameters to make compromises? And keep one thing in your mind: your spending power, what it is today, it is not going to be the same. It is going to increase, and you don't want to regret 2 years, 3 years down the line, I wish if I had more budget, or I would have put more budget into my wedding photography. Even if in the future you are willing to spend more money, you cannot go back to the past and redo your wedding pictures. Whatever is done is done. So the final call to increase the budget or not lies with you. I can just share my views with you, and I hope it is helping you. So let's now come to the compromises which I was talking about. Obviously, this increasing the budget is also some sort of a compromise. So now you have a very limited budget or a certain budget in your mind where all the services may not be possible, or the quality may not be possible in the same budget. So what you're going to do? I would suggest allocate maximum funds to a service which is closer to your heart. Let's say candid photography. You like candid photography. You like videos as well, but the photography part is more closer to your heart. I would suggest allocate maximum funds to your candid photography and make a compromise on the video part. I know all the services are important. In fact, candid photography, cinematography, traditional photography, video, all these three are important services. But like I said, you cannot have best of all. So you have to make compromises. Go for maximum funds for the service which is closer to your heart and make compromises on the other two services, traditional photography or videography. You may not be looking for a certain quality or a so called branded studio of your city to do your traditional photography or video. Or alternatively, if you like cinematography, allocate more funds to cinematography and compromise on candid photography and traditional photography or video. In fact, I have seen people are not really fond of videos. They are going for cinematography because their friends have gone for cinematography, or it is a trend to have cinematography in your wedding photography packages. No, it is not necessary to have cinematography. Yes, I know it is an important part, but you need to take a call whether you really need cinematography or at what quality you are looking for cinematography. Imagine a scenario if you eliminate cinematography, which is a very expensive service. You will have a lot of funds available for your candid photography and your traditional photography and video. You will have the flexibility of putting more funds to your candid photography. In fact, you could go for a better quality of a candid photographer than the market price which you had allocated. Maybe you could go to a little higher budget wedding photographer. If you skip cinematography, you will have more funds to allocate to other services, which means better quality of candid photographer, better wedding pictures. You can also save cost by eliminating wedding album or your coffee table book, because this is one product which you can order even later, 1 year down the line or 2 year down the line. But yes, I have seen a lot of people who skip wedding albums or coffee table books end up not getting it because we tend to get lazy. So you need to make a compromise, or you need to decide whether you want to go for coffee table book right now or later. But yes, even if you skip, you still have a chance to invest later in the coffee table book, but not in other services. You can always come back to your wedding photographer an year later and ask for the coffee table book and enjoy that delayed gratification of going to the pictures, obviously. So now we are on the last part or the last point, which is deciding between a local photographer or a destination photographer. Your wedding photography budget is the sum total of his service cost, travel, accommodation, taxes. It's Diwali time. Diwali is the biggest festival of India. I mean, I'm just sharing if you're not from India. Okay, coming back to the point. So, yeah, so your overall wedding photography budget is the sum total of his service cost, accommodation, travel, and taxes. If you are going for destination photographer, you will have to bear the cost of his travel, accommodation. But if you're going for local photographer, you can easily skip this cost. And mind it, it could easily be 15 to 20% of the overall wedding photography budget. So think about it. And yeah, make sure that if even if you're going for a local photography team, it should be at par with your destination photographer. I mean, the quality of the destination photographer. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share today. Budgeting is very difficult. Everyone has its own way of budgeting anything. Wedding photography is obviously not different. But yes, these are my thoughts. A lot of clients come to us who are looking at a certain budget. So these are the ideas we give to our clients. Whether you are a wedding photographer or a prospective bride or a couple, these ideas or tips could be helpful to you. Most of the wedding photographers are quite flexible in designing quotes for their clients. So make sure you share all the details in email and ask for a customized quote. And make sure you don't copy paste same email to all the photographers. We get many emails where the photographer name is not the one which is expected. So yeah, that's all for today. Like I said, this has already been shared on my wedding blog as well as on the podcast. So I'll share those links in the description below. And this is the first video podcast which I have done. And hopefully I'm not looking that awkward in front of the camera. And if you have liked this video, you have liked my thoughts, do share it with your friends and family on social media. Subscribe to this channel and I will be back soon with a fresh new episode of my podcast. Bye for now.